Hot 4.7, Andy and Tasha. It's 8:53, 73 today. Jonathan won the tickets to David Faraday Live.
Yeah, and he's from Iowa. Iowa in the house.
Congratulations to him. We have Brian Kirk on the phone. Finally, we connected. And hi, Brian.
Hi.
So, sleepy?
Yes. I hit the wall about an hour ago.
Okay.
Kind of right after our show. I was like jazzed up and then just ran straight into it. But I've got some coffee in front of me now. So
I was watching this morning before I left my house, and you were talking about how, hey, the cops came by and said, get your phone out of here or your car. And I laughed. I'm like, yep, he's tired.
Oh, yeah,
he's tired.
Yeah, I was just saying words. I was just vomiting English words out of my mouth, and I meant car instead of phone.
Yeah.
Well, and you had that tweet yesterday about how you waded in water up to your thigh or whatever. Did you have a change of clothes at the station, or what did you do?
No, I was literally hiking those things up as high as I could, and luckily, just the bottom of them got wet, so it kind of air dried. But Brandon Spinner, I'm not kidding you. I walked in here, and the guy was in his boxers. Because he had to do the 10 o'clock show, and he couldn't, because he was on the west side of town, and it was terrible over there. So he could only park about 2 or 3 blocks to the station, and he had to pretty much
swim in
through.
He took his pants off to walk through it.
Well, when you see Vietnam soldiers putting their guns above their head and waiting, that was what he was doing with his pants.
Well, he should have just done the weather in his boxers. People would have really paid attention.
I had to work with the guy, so I told him to put his pants on. He can do that. He can do that when I'm not working.
The things you don't know about that happen on live television. That's fun.
Yeah, he was doing weather in his bare feet, and I had my sandals on because I was smarter enough to not wear my shoes in. Because I had to wait. I was up to my thighs, and
crazy.
I knew better leaving my house than to wear shoes.
Okay, so we only have about another minute. But what was the deal? Why did this happen last night?
Okay, so we saw some storms develop early in the afternoon. We knew there was going to be some scattered storms. And those convective storms, when you think about the size of Sioux Falls, as a model takes it all in, extremely small. So, that could have popped up over Madison. It could have popped up over any town. A lot of folks think maybe it popped up over Sioux Falls because of the heat of the city. Well, that's not the case. What happened is the storms developed, and they just got cut off from any kind of steering winds, whether they be the low-level winds or the upper-level winds. They just found themselves right in a perfect spot. And they began to retrograde a little bit, which is a fancy term for developing kind of behind, towards the western half. So as part of it fell towards the east, more developed behind it and kind of got this cycle going, and it lasted 2 or so hours. And nothing was there to kind of give it a good, kick from behind to move it along. So that's why we saw that, and the reason why it rained so heavily is we have a thing called precipitable water, which is how much water is in the atmosphere. If you wrang it out all the way up to, all the air that's above you right now, if you wrang it all out, we can actually measure that, and it was really, really high yesterday. So we knew there was a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, not just at the surface, but really through a really tall column of air. So that rinsed it out, was very effective at doing it, and it just sat over us, and that's why that happened. Now, a lot of meteorologists are looking at Sioux Falls at the airport and saying, oh, well, you guys only got 2.5 inches, because that's what the airport got.
Right.
The south end of town got way more.
Right, and it's kind of a cool case. It's a nice example to look at. One storm and how it can impact one half of a town versus the other. This is the same kind of thing that happens in the winter when people say, well, I got 10 inches of snow, and he only got 1 inch. Why didn't you forecast that? Well, that's exactly the reason, is because we can get precipitation in humongous amounts on one end of the town and nothing on the other end. So just something to keep in mind next time you want to...
yell at a weatherman?
Yeah, next time you want to crucify us in the winter. But, yeah, 8 to 9 inches. That's so far what we've got. We're kind of waiting on the Weather Service to dish out their complete...
what was... I heard you say this morning, what was the amount in... It was 3-some inches at one weather station in 5 minutes. What was it?
Yeah, so Sertoma Park, they have a rain gauge that SDSU manages, and they measured in 5 minutes. They measured 3/4 of an inch. So that equates to a rainfall rate of 15 inches in an hour, which is mind-blowing. I mean, I don't think that would ever happen.
3/4 of an inch in 5 minutes?
In 5 minutes.
Crazy. But this weekend, no rain?
This weekend, no rain.
Yay!
I think we're pretty much wrapped up now. We saw some sprinkles this morning. It's a little wet out there, but it looks like it's pretty much going to be its last push. And then this afternoon, we're going to clear out. I think this evening's going to be great. Weekend, plenty of sunshine, warming up back into the 80s, and our last couple of days of August look warm as well. We don't have a raindrop in the forecast after this morning.
Good.
So that's good. Plenty of sunshine, and temps by the end of the week look to be in the upper 80s, low 90s.
All right. Very cool. Brian, get some sleep.
I'm going to go pass out now.
All right.
Bye.
Have
Sweet
a good
dreams.
one.
Later.
Brian Kirk, KDLT. Weekend Wake Up with DJ Corey is next. It's Hot 104.7.
I didn't like all the